guys, here's an impression of Black Superman. Oh no, I'm too late.
Welcome back to the Tempe Mentality Podcast. Pandji Pragiwaksono, your host. As usual, I am going to be having this conversation with a fellow comic who I find funny. We're going to talk about his upbringing. Where did he get his, influence in comedy? Where is comedy career right now? And this comic that I want to introduce to you, he has this bit about a black Batman, which is, it's funny. I don't want to butcher the bit, but it was about running through this stereotype of black people being late, and he arrived at the studio 10:29. Jerlon Turner, what's up, baby?
Yo!
Doing good?
Pandji, good to see you, brother.
10:29.
Yes. The 10:29. I arrived 1 minute early just to break the stereotype.
But your joke, you have a joke about it, right? What's the joke again?
Let's just start it off because you didn't butcher it. The joke is, it's basically I do a couple of impressions, all right? And the first impression I do is Black Superman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All right. So here's an impression of Black Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm too late. That's it. And then I do an impression of Black Batman. Here's an impression of Black Batman. Oh no, I'm broke. And I'm also too late. And then one more, I do here's an impression of Black Panther. Oh no, I'm dead. Which he's like literally late. But sometimes the crowd doesn't like that one too much because it's kind of dark. But
the Black Panther one?
Yeah, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, man, it's the king.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to have you.
Of course. Thank you for having me, man.
Jerlon, yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I remember our first conversation.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm good at
weird.
this. No, it's not. Because it's to me, it's a memorable one because it shows me how nice you are as a person. We were at Sarah's heckle mic.
Okay, Sarah Harvard, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Harvard.
Yeah.
That was my first time going to the heckle mic.
Okay.
All right. And then I kind of know what it's about, but I've never seen any heckle mic, never before.
Yeah.
We don't have those in Indonesia. And so I was just sitting there by myself, and then, you said hi to me, and then you said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I'm like, "I do remember you." And then you're like, "Where?" And I'm like, "I actually don't remember."
Oh, really? You lied to me.
No, but you said Producers Club.
Okay.
And then I remember that was the first time back when, the mics were still at the bar.
Yeah.
And then you asked me, "Do you know what this is about?" I said, "Heckle mic." "Yeah, but do you know how it's going to play out?" "I don't." And then I don't know, I don't remember how you said it, but you told me to prepare. And it was wild.
I told you to listen. We're going to say some things in here that some people may not be comfortable with, but it's all in jest, it's all in love, and we're just joking amongst each other.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a fair warning.
Yeah. And the thing that I noticed is you shine the most, they're heckling comics.
What about on stage? I didn't shine.
Yeah, definitely. But, when comics were heckling, you were one of the, because everybody was heckling, right? It was like a group thing.
Yeah, it was
always the same group of people.
Well, originally it was just a bunch of comics in there, and it was like a way for us to like blow off steam. Mm-hmm. And comics have an interesting relationship. At least in my opinion, comics have an interesting relationship with each other, and a lot of the things. This is like an opportunity. The heckle mic was basically an opportunity to say what you want to other comics that you probably wouldn't say under normal circumstances.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of the times, Sarah Harvard put it together, and I did shine a lot there. I actually broke a man's arm on stage there.
I heard.
Yeah, I was, listen, fuck it, I'll take it. I'll take the credit. I was the shining light of the heckle mic, and it was a classic event while it was going on. But I just wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable,
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you see when you see someone on stage? Let's say you've never seen this person before, right? It's not a buddy of yours that you wanted to say.
Yeah.
But if someone like, I don't know, maybe Mike goes up on stage, what do you see the first time that helps you come up with the idea to heckle?
Oh, well, when you see someone, you just go for the obvious, whatever you think, the most obvious thing about them, and the most obvious thing that you have in your mind that you know will hurt them. Like Mike, I would talk about his weight, and like how he has his mother's hips, and he probably also has his mother's brain, which is the reason why his father beat the shit out of him. So I would go along, even though I don't know if any of that's true, but just looking at him.
Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there. Whatever sticks to the wall sticks.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I have a mic.
Do you remember what anyone said to you?
I remember one of the first heckle was, "What do you look like, broke Joe Coy?" I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I get it. I mean, bald and Asian.
Did you have a comeback for that?
I was laughing so hard. One of the comic was heckling, "You look like you're enjoying this too much." I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
For some reason, I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I remember that night, I think.
Yeah, because it was very funny. It was the first time for me to be on stage being heckled, and everybody was funny.
Yeah.
I think it still is one of the funniest mic I've ever been to.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt, it is.
Mike, have you been to the heckle mic, Sarah's second mic?
No, I know Sarah, but I haven't. I haven't been. I'd love to go though.
Yeah. Ooh. Do you think you're good at the hecklebacks?
Listen, if you are good at it, do you tell people you're good at it,
Yeah,
or do you just show people that you're good at it?
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean,
makes sense.
It's more, it's less of heckles because no one was really up there doing material. It's more insult. You go up there to get insulted, basically.
If you know that's what's going on, then it's much more fun.
Yeah,
because I also came up on the road. I was on the road for 10 years, like just getting beat up on the road. So like that to me is like not that's fun at this point for me because it doesn't affect me at all anymore.
Yeah.
It's second nature at this point.
Yeah,
unfortunately, because you go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you get a beer bottle thrown at you and a knife pulled on you while you're on stage. There's not much that a micer in New York at a Tuesday night heckle mic's going to say to me that's going to make me not know what to say back. Yeah.
Comics, especially, these are comics, so
that's the thing. It was a. I mean, the audience eventually became an audience there, and they were always real receptive to it. But at first, it was just comics, and then it built up over weeks and weeks, and just the audience members increased. And
it's not around anymore. Is it still?
I think she retired it.
Why?
She's moving along in her comedy career, and I don't think she has the time.
Yeah.
She told me she'll bring it back. She told me she's gonna bring it back when she has some time. But right now, I guess she doesn't have much time.
All right. And so, okay. So I really want to talk to you about a lot of things. But especially, I want to know,
listen, okay. I know what you can ask. I've been black since birth, all right? Since birth. No,
where were you born? Where were you born? Are you originally a New Yorker, or you're
well, I was born in Long Island.
Okay.
And I'm originally a New Yorker. Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like? Because I have no idea. I have no reference about, if someone says I was born in Harlem, you know how it is. I don't, right? Because I'm from Indonesia.
Yeah.
What's it like, Long Island, growing up in Long Island?
No. I didn't grow up in Long Island.
You were born?
I was born in Long Island. I was born in Glen Cove. Then I moved to Queens before I could remember. So basically my upbringing, I was raised in Queens.
Which part of Queens?
In Jamaica, Queens.
Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
That's 50 Cent, Queens. 50 Cent's from Jamaica, Queens, right?
50 Cent's from South Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, South Jamaica. It's different?
Yeah. I mean, kinda. Jesus Christ. But not really. Here's the thing. With New York City, you brought up Harlem first. Like every section of New York City has its own personality. That if you're not from New York City, it may be hard to tell. But growing up here, Harlem is way different than Brooklyn per se. At least in the African American community. I don't know what the hell the other people are.
How different? Like different how? As
far as the way they speak, the way they carry themselves.
Really?
A whole different lifestyle. But looking at it, like in general, you wouldn't be able to notice. Outsider wouldn't be able to notice. But if you grew up here, you would be able to notice. There was a classic KRS-One line from before I was born. Bronx creating it, Brooklyn taking it, Manhattan making it, Queens are faking it. Jesus Christ, yeah. And listen, we're not faking anything, right? We're good, but that's sort of what like the nuance is, you know. For outsiders, it's very, very difficult to tell, but we all seem the same kind of.
Yeah.
People not from New York.
So you were how many brothers or sisters you have?
One brother, one sister.
You were in the middle, or?
No, I'm the last one, the last of the Mohicans.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
You get spoiled a lot. Are you spoiled? I don't know. Back in Indonesia, every last child, you know, the stereotype of Indonesian last childs are spoiled like crazy. They're just spoiled because they're the babies in the family. But, you know, it's different in each country. I don't know how it is. Do you feel like you were spoiled because you were the last child?
No, because me and my other two siblings have different fathers. So we all have different fathers. My older brother, different father. My older sister, different father. Me, different father from them. So
your mom was just happy?
I think whatever father, whoever the dude was that she loved most, and that's who was the spoiled one. And I don't think it was me. I think it was my sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think whoever that. I didn't get a chance to meet my sister's father, but I think my mom's had a thing for him the most, so she did it.
Was she hard at you? You know, the tough mom. She beats you.
Not really. She worked a lot, so had a lot of free time to roam the streets, you know, and try to prove that Queens wasn't faking it.
How?
I was doing my thing out there, you know.
I don't. What do you mean doing that?
Well,
it's okay.
Well,
it's the thing of the past, right?
Here's the thing. I think in New York City, there's at least in a lot of urban communities, there's this. It's like a system set up. You know, like the father's gone, the mom is working, the kid's off free to do whatever hell he wants, and that's when a lot of kids get in a lot of trouble. And that's what happened to me. I got into a lot of trouble, but luckily I had a strong mother there to bail me out, literally, when situations got too sticky. But I was definitely a burden to her.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you tell? She says it a lot. Jerlon, you're such a,
She used to have to come with me to fucking court, all types of shit. I dropped out of high school. I was into all types of shit. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. I want to know the story.
I used to fucking sell shit, and she would always find my shit and throw it out. Then I'd be like, listen, they're going to kill me if I don't pay for this. So the money would come out of her pocket.
Oh,
all types of weird situations.
That's wild.
But it's not that wild. This is like how
it's just
me
how
and
it
all
is.
my friends grew up. Yeah.
And how did you stop and, get out of the game, so to say?
I was never in the game. I wanted to be in the game.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you were never in.
I was never in.
So it's easy to cut ties,
It's easy to cut ties. Honestly, as you get older, my view on it was like if you're living like a street lifestyle, even if it's in the small way, there's like a time frame for you to do that until something happens that you can't come back from. And I felt like I was like 28. I'm 33 now. It's 28. I felt like, okay, the walls are closing in on me. If I keep hanging out in the street, something is eventually going to happen to me where I'm not going to be able to come back from. Even though I wasn't even doing anything. It was just my whole circle of friends.
Sometimes just bad luck. You're just there, and then shit happens to you, right?
That's interesting. The week I started comedy, I had just went to go visit for some friends. And right before I got there, one of them got shot.
Ooh.
And that was like on a Monday. And a Thursday, I was hanging out with some other friends. And right after I left, one of them got shot.
Wow.
And then I just started doing. Not that I said, oh shit, they're shooting these motherfuckers. Let me go try to tell some jokes. Not that that's what happened, but it was that same week that I started doing comedy. Or at least I went to my first open mic and tried to do comedy, not started comedy.
But I think if someone says that I want to try to do comedy, it's because they develop this sort of reputation between their friends for them being funny. Were you always been the funny in the crowd or funny growing up?
Not. I was always funny, or at least tried to be funny. But like for instance, you say I was the star at the heckle mic. The heckle mic was basically what we would do in the neighborhood while we were hanging out, selling these. That's what we would do amongst each other. So just doing it there with novices to something that I've been doing since I was fucking 6 years old. Like we would always joke around with each other in the neighborhood. So I guess that's where I started to build my comedy muscle. I remember there was this girl in 3rd grade. Her name was Lace Kirk. She was the funniest person.
Lace Kirk.
For some reason, I remember her name. Lace Kirk, strange name.
Yeah, it is.
Strange
Lace
name.
Kirk.
But she was so funny. And it amazed me. Not to say that. Well, this was the first time I seen a woman. She was a woman. Like, so hilarious. She'll roast.
How she throws jokes or the way she speaks is funny.
She'd roast every and anybody unforgivingly.
Right.
Unforgivingly, yeah. And this was in 3rd grade. By the time we got to 6th grade, she started looking different, you know. She started developing. And she was still funny. So you can't be pretty and funny. So something had to happen to her. So, you know, me and a couple of the guys took her out.
What do you mean? Took her out?
Took her out. Not for dinner.
For what?
What do you mean? Took her out.
What do you mean took her out?
We took her upstairs to have a chat with the big guy.
I really have no idea what that means. What does that mean? You're speaking in codes with me.
Next question. We love you, Lace.
I think I know.
We took her out.
Okay.
She's no longer with us.
Okay. All right. But you were talking about seeing someone in school who's funny. Right?
Yeah.
I always feel like, I don't know if it's the same with other comics. I always feel like I'm never the funniest in school. Elementary, middle school.
When you were growing up?
Yeah, I was never the funniest kid. But I became the comic. It's always like, it's like that for you? You're not the funniest kid? Or you've always been the funniest kid in school?
You probably weren't the funniest. Excuse me. You probably weren't the funniest. Most of the funniest people I've come across in my life are not in comedy, are not involved in comedy. I don't know, maybe if they don't know it's a thing that they can get into.
That it's an option for them?
Yeah, like it's an option. But most of some of the funniest people I met have no interest in doing comedy. They're just naturally like that.
Yeah, I've always been wondering, why is that? Because if everybody in school says that you're funny, and you know that, especially here, you know, in New York, being a comic is an option, why wouldn't you? Right? Would it be weird?
I mean, people who do comedy, I don't care if it's the top of the top. They're not the funniest people in the world. The funniest people in the world, haven't applied themselves to comedy. Probably like the best athletes in the world aren't doing comedy. They're probably doing some shit, putting fucking boxes of ice on a truck or something. They're not doing They're not doing professional sports.
Yeah,
greatest basketball player, Earl Manigault.
Yeah,
he was never in the NBA.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I understand that reference. Yeah.
Like, to find your path. Who knows? Is there a path? Do you know?
Yeah, sometimes you were just living life. And
what you fall into is what you fall into, as long as you like it and it makes you happy.
Yeah. Do you remember the first comic you saw? Because the first ever stand-up comic I saw was Robin Williams live in Broadway. That was the first show. And growing up, people have always been saying, and I've never heard the term stand-up comedian. Never. Back in India, I've never heard of it. But during high school, I used to impersonate my teachers. And a buddy of mine, oh, you're doing stand-up, but I have no idea. And then one day I saw Robin Williams live in Broadway, and I was like, oh, this is what my friend meant, and it changed me. It became sort of like a pursuit. I'm like, maybe I can do this. But there's no stand-up comedian in Indonesia back then. So I didn't know if it's an option, but I felt like this is something I can do. Do you remember who was the first comic you saw?
Hell
and what
no.
age was it?
No. I grew up on comedy. Maybe the first one that pops into my mind, I don't know. I remember being like 13. We started cutting school, and we used to watch specials. What's that? Killing Me Softly was one that we used to watch. Dave Chappelle. Killing Me Softly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that was
for
like
what
the
it's
second
and then
special.
For What It's Worth.
Yeah, and then For What It's Worth came out later. But that Killing Me Softly, I think I was like in 6th or 7th grade, and we used to cut school, and that's around the time we started smoking weed, and we used to watch that a lot. But before that, I can't put a finger on it. But I grew up, my mom, Richard Pryor. I knew Richard Pryor before for a long time.
Are you exposed to Richard Pryor from his movies?
Richard Pryor is probably the first comedian I was exposed to. He was in some black exploitation movies, The Mac.
Yeah.
That was what I remember as a child I watched.
Yeah. Do you have a top 5?
This is like what?
Of stand-up comedian. Do you have a top 5?
I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot right now.
No. I like that question. I don't necessarily have a top 5. What I have is like I don't have necessarily a favorite comedian. I have favorite jokes.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, I'll just tell you number 1 on the list. My favorite joke ever. This is a relatively new joke. It's the Dave Chappelle. I think it was on
Age of
Sticks and
Spin?
Stones.
Oh.
Kicked her in the pussy.
Oh, yeah. So I kick her in the pussy.
Yeah, because I'm such a good comedian. I pull punchlines out of fishbowl. And the punchline, the story and the kicked in the pussy. But I watched he was like on Def Jam in 1993. And one of his throwaway lines was kicked her in the pussy.
Oh.
That was just he said it in a it wasn't even part of a joke. He just threw it out there for whatever he was talking about. And then fucking 30 years later.
Wow.
So I kicked her in the pussy. That's how long it seemed like he was developing.
That's crazy, right?
That bit.
To have that thing back all the way from Def Comedy Jam.
Dude, he said, I was in New York City, I kicked her in the pussy. It was a throwaway line. But then fucking 30 years later, he fucking crafted that shit into a fucking genius bit.
Yeah. Do you know one of my favorite Dave Chappelle bit is actually from For What It's Worth.
Okay.
He has this bit about just because I dress a certain way doesn't mean I'm that kind of person. And then I forgot, I'm butchering his joke, but it was like, okay, ma'am, I see you, but you have to understand it's kind of confusing because you are wearing a whore's uniform. You remember that bit? Yeah. Because just because I'm dressed as in a police uniform doesn't mean I'm a police.
Yeah.
And then that was a bit, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if it became a problem back then. I don't know if feminism was a thing. This was, what was it, 90s?
Yes, feminism was a thing, but.
Oh, but it didn't.
It didn't
Yeah.
It didn't put us in a headlock until fairly recently. Not to say it put us in a headlock anything.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorite bits is Andrew Dice Clay, Hour Back.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man. Dude, this one.
I have another bit, but I'm very weird. I'm worried of saying this because it's actually Bill Cosby's bit.
What?
Dentist. Do you know this, Mike? Do you know that bit? The dentist?
I mean, he still had great jokes. I mean, the guy had a great career, even though it was separate the art from the artist, right?
Yeah,
we can all agree he did some bad stuff, but we can also all agree the guy was groundbreaking.
Yeah. But a lot of people can't seem to separate the people from the artist. My favorite. Do you know this bit, dentist?
No.
It's funniest shit ever. I think it was from his special himself.
Yeah. I've seen himself.
Yeah. He was talking about, because it's wild to me being from Indonesia and experiencing the same exact thing that Bill Cosby is telling. I'm like, wow, this is what's crazy. It's, I don't know. It just blew off my mind.
That's the beauty of comedy.
Yeah.
It transcends, location and upbringing. So, but especially when it's a relatable good bit.
Yeah.
Transcends,
The Andrew Dice Clay.
Andrew Dice Clay, Hour Back. It makes no sense. It's just Mike, have you heard Hour Back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back in an hour. Hour back, get it, hour back.
I have to watch it, I guess.
I don't even think it's recorded. It's on The Day Laughter Died. That's the album he put out. That's one of my favorite albums too.
That's when he was back in the clubs, right?
Yeah, I think it was like in Dangerfields, like in 1992. This was after he was a big star.
You hear the reopening?
They are? Mm-hmm. Holy moly.
What is reopening?
Someone bought it, Dangerfield. Someone just bought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't Andrew Dice Clay was the first comic to perform at Madison Square Garden, was it?
I think he was the first one to sell it out.
The first one to sell it out.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I don't think Andrew Dice Clay gets the respect he deserves. Speaking of Dangerfields, Andrew Dice Clay doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
Dude, listen to that. The Day Laughter Died. It's basically after he was like an arena comic, and then he just came and did like it was probably like 40 people in Dangerfields that night when he recorded that shit.
Wow.
It was produced by Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin?
Yeah,
Rick Rubin. That's wild.
From Def Jam.
Yeah.
Def Jam Rick Rubin, yeah.
That's
So like 4 million copies.
Wow.
Like 40 people in that room.
That's crazy.
Some chick in the audience like, yeah, about as funny as a glass of milk. Andrew Dice Clay.
All right. Is he like those are like your influences maybe in comedy? They influence you?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. My to me and my three influences is one is this guy called Loaded Lux.
Wow, I never heard of him.
Before I say that, let me put the three greatest people I think ever on a microphone are Loaded Lux, Dave Chappelle, and Barack Obama. In that order.
In that order.
Yes.
So
Captivating.
Loaded Lux is the first.
Loaded Lux is the first. He's a master of words. He's a battle rapper.
Oh.
And battle rap, I think, in my mind, has a lot of similarities to comedy. Mm-hmm. Because you're up there talking. In battle rap, there's no music, so it's just you and the microphone. Mm-hmm. And rap is a lot of similes, metaphors, punchlines, a lot of wordplay, engaging with the audience. And his performance is A1, but his writing is out of this world. Loaded Lux.
Loaded Lux.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
Still around. Mm-hmm. Dave Chappelle, we all familiar with his work. Mm-hmm. Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. Yeah. His speeches were fucking incredible.
You saw that there's this clip recently. He was doing a speech, and then he was saying, I think in front of Senate, maybe, I don't know. He was saying, I'm not running for president, so I don't have an agenda. And then just right after he said, I'm not running for president, the Republican were applauding, being sarcastic.
Yeah.
And then he looked at the Republican and he was like, I know, because I won both of them.
Yeah. Amazing on the microphone.
Yeah.
Amazing. Trump used to do somewhat shit like that, but it was never as witty and clever. It'd always be some type of
Yeah.
You ever listen to Chad Daniels?
Chad Daniels.
Yes,
that guy's
yes.
Listen to him as like a master class in underhanded writing, where he like says things and it's not meant to be like a punch in the face, but it always is. Wow. It's like, so one of my favorite jokes of all times is he goes, I played my wife in golf yesterday. Or no. I got to play golf yesterday, and I finally beat my wife. And those are two separate things.
Yeah.
It's just perfect, no fat. It's just he's a masterful joke writer.
Chad Daniels.
That's my type of comedy, just like that. No fat, quick. I mean, I try to
noticed that.
I try to tell like a lot of. It seems like they're one-liners, which they kind of are, but you know that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Comedy, I don't know if that's the right style to necessarily delve into, you know, but that's what I like.
Yeah, I remember, but I don't remember who's. I think it's maybe Red Fox or Dick Gregory has this bit. I read Dick Gregory. He said, I read the news today. It says, I don't know the exact word, but it says that crime is high because black people have knives wherever they go. And then he paused a bit, and then so I go out and went to buy one. You know, so he was playing with the stereotype, and it was very concise. It was just a setup and then a punchline, and that's it.
Here's one of I said it once the other day. Let me try it now. One of my boys told me he went on 6 dates last week. I was like, 6 dates, dude, that's crazy. Because you're married to my sister. Yes, it got a good reaction the first time. But then when I tell jokes like that, but then it's hard trying to string them together. Because it seems like a lot of times I'm just up there saying a bunch of random shit with no connection. You know?
Yeah.
And the only way to once you do fucking 6 misdirections in a row, I gotta try to keep the audience engaged by then doing some crowd work. Then my crowd work turns into misdirections. You know, like
yeah. I know to me it's really hard when your type of comedy is doing one-liners, you know, full of misdirections. Because I think it was Mitch Hedberg. He's kind of like that, and then.
He's one of the kings of the.
I know, but have you heard? I don't know. I haven't confirmed this because I haven't watched it myself. I don't know, but some people said that he bombed during his special.
I heard that and they edited it.
Yeah.
To make it better.
Yeah, because it
he was
is really
down
hard
at a point, and he was down on himself.
Yeah.
He started sitting down, but. Thank God he died soon after that. So, you know?
Yeah, so he doesn't have to live through the misery for too long. But I think that's how we know it's hard to make a special full of. That's why Jimmy Carr, was it?
Jimmy Carr is amazing.
Yeah, but also that's why he has talk shows in the middle of his special.
Exactly, to add a different flavor with Jimmy Carr. What's a favorite joke of mine from him? Say what you want about deaf people. Dude, that's fucking great.
Know? Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Also, his bit about what's the nets that you put around bed? What I think the bit is if only we have, I think it's called bed nets in Africa. We can save millions of. We can save. What's the word?
Talk about butchering a bit, Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry. So it was the misdirection was we thought that the nets could save people from dying from AIDS.
Yeah,
but then he says to save the mosquitoes.
Oh, the bit is. If only there were more mosquito nets in Africa, that we could save millions of mosquitoes from needlessly dying of AIDS.
That's it. That's a bit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jimmy Carr.
I think Jimmy Carr should say sorry for that one.
Yeah, but it's weird. His special that was titled "Darkest Material" was it?
Okay.
Wasn't actually his darkest materials.
He gets pretty dark.
I know, but I saw this clip on the internet where he was, all right, I'm gonna, bring it up a notch, and then he throws a joke. Okay, this is still funny to you. Let's bring it up a notch to a point where people were just uneasy and couldn't laugh. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And sometimes it happens, you know?
Wait, but has it always been like this? You were telling a story that you started doing mics. Was it from the get-go that was your brand of comedy? Or it developed into that kind of comedy, the one-liners?
No, I think it sort of developed into that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I've been doing it for about 5 years now. But, like, when people say I don't feel like I started comedy 5 years ago. To be honest with you, I feel like I started comedy 6 months ago. Because you don't just start. You have to learn, you know? Learn what to say, what not to say. There's so many little nuances, you know, that you only learn from experience of doing, you know?
Yeah.
So to be honest, I feel like I fucking started 6 months ago where I'm like going up and I'm doing well all the time. But 5 years from now, I'll be like, yo, who knows what I'll feel.
Yeah, but do you remember that first open mic? Do you remember the joke? Your first joke?
No, hell no.
You don't remember, or you don't want to tell me?
What was one of them? What was one of them?
This is 5 years ago, right?
I had this one story. My 5 year, I can't remember it. Let me try to remember. I had this one story. My 5-year-old daughter came home with a penis drawn on her forehead. And she was ecstatic about it. And I was like, my little girl is literally a dickhead and she's happy about it. I forgot where it went. But the little boy, Tommy, who drew the dick on her head, I ended up like finding his mother and I put a dick on her head or some shit. It was not good. It was not good.
It is kind of funny. Yeah, but then sometimes when you start doing comedy, were you funny straight away? Because sometimes...
No.
Yeah, but sometimes they are weirdly funny the first time they go up.
Yeah, they're jovial. And sometimes your feelings, how you feel, can connect with, like, if I'm happy up there smiling, you may be like, okay, look at this guy. He's happy up there smiling. I'm happy looking at him smiling, you know?
Yeah. But you weren't funny straight away.
I don't think so. If anything, I think I was awkward, rude, offensive. I didn't do anything right.
What then keeps you going? Because a lot of people would, they tried one time, 2 times, didn't get a laugh.
I had to stop hanging out in the fucking streets. That's why my friends started shooting each other. I said, oh no, let me hang out with these weirdos. Let me hang out with these weirdos on the Lower East Side and have some fun with them. At least it's non-violent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who are the comics that were in the same class, so to say, with you? Because Josh and Kevin, they started comedy 6 years ago, I think. So it's around at the same time. Did you met them during your time doing mics?
I mean, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I met them years later. I'm gonna be honest. I'm at this weird stage right now. Well, I don't know if it's a weird stage or not, but I'm seeing certain people that I'm around a lot, they're starting to progress more, whether it be through the content they put on the internet or whether it be through, I don't know. So I started here in New York. Like one of my boys, he was like Minnesota or whatever the hell, the funniest comic on his way. When he came out here, like he already had something established. And I'm starting to see them progress. And I'm like, holy shit, I gotta keep up with these motherfuckers. You know? I don't know. It's weird. Mike, what do you think about
I think that is the absolute death nail for a comedian.
That's the death nail.
If you let it, and we all do it.
Yeah, I know.
But it's the one thing that will rot us from the inside is watching a contemporary that you don't think is better than you do better than you in the industry.
How about keeping up with my friends? Is that a better way to put it?
Oh, well, you mean like is their career? You like as comedians? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, because this is an old saying, but rising water lifts all ships. So if you maintain the friendship and are genuine with each other, most people get big because their friend gets big, and then they take them with them.
Yeah. What's that again?
Rising tides raise all ships. So if your tide rises, the ships around you will rise with you. So be good to the people around you because they might be good to you back.
Bars.
Is kind of the idea.
Loaded Lux bars.
Experience, yo.
Loaded Lux
Mike
bars.
Albanese.
But yo, it is definitely a community, you know, and I guess if a couple buildings, a couple high rises get built, then everything's gonna start getting higher, you know.
Because I've had friends that I started with, like full on sleeping on floors, like getting like years and years and years that have gotten massively big.
Yeah.
And they immediately, when they sign a contract for something good, they forget everybody.
That's what I keep hearing.
And that's
what I keep hearing.
It's like that Bronx Tale, like when he complains about the guy owing him $20. It's the same concept. It's like, okay, well now I know who you are as a person. I never have to worry about you again. I'm talking about people I road dogged with, came up with years and years and years. The second that they got something big, they won't return a text, phone call, never asked them for nothing.
Why is that?
People are just nuts, dude.
That's wild, right?
Yeah.
I was speaking to Dave Temple the other day, and he told me he's like a Philadelphia
That's what I'm
comic.
talking about.
He told me something similar. He told me something very similar to that. And then he said things get weird when more money gets involved. But
Do you think that's the way it is in the industry? I mean,
that might be the way it is in life. You know?
Yeah, because I come from Indonesia. There's not even an industry stand up in Indonesia. But when I move here, the industry is very well established. It seems like it's really rigid from the outside. They're so full of inside people. How do I say it? You know, cliquey. It's kind of cliquey.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. You can't really tell how to navigate your career here in New York. It's kind of hard. So you feel like I just work hard and maybe I get lucky. You know? Do you feel like that?
I mean, I feel like I've always thought like everyone gets an opportunity, and maybe you get 2 or 3 opportunities. And I think it's best to be prepared for when those opportunities arise. You know, that's my whole thinking of it. And even if the opportunities never arise, though, I love fucking doing comedy. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at a point right now where like people laugh at my shit consistently, and I fucking love doing it. I love fucking getting nothing. I love performing. I love sitting at home smoking a joint, trying to come up with something funny. I love hanging out with my friends who also do it, and we share that in common. I love all aspects of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that way too. People back in Indonesia keeps questioning me. What are you doing?
But you say there's no industry in Indonesia, but I see some of your videos and stuff, and you have stuff established in Indonesia.
Yeah, but this is weird for me to say it, but I'm the only one in Indonesia doing that.
Oh, holy shit.
You are the industry.
So this is what I'm trying to do.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Let me handle my business damn. But, you know, this is what... So I have a company back in Indonesia. It's called Comica.
Okay.
And the whole mission of Comica is to build the industry.
Yeah.
Because there are sectors, and then there's industry. Sector consists of industries. Industry consists of business. And there are so few businesses in Indonesia stand-up comedy. There's only 1 comedy club, 2 now coming up. And this is for the whole Indonesia. 280 million people, you know, thousands of islands, only 2 comedy clubs right
There's
now.
280 million people in Indonesia?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know
4th
that.
biggest. So China, India, United States, and Indonesia.
Holy shit. I didn't
Funniest
know that.
thing, United people here in the U.S. never heard of Indonesia. It's the 4th biggest population in the world. But no, there's... Comedy blew out in Indonesia 2011.
Is Indonesia in South America? No, I'm kidding.
It's timing, though. Impeccable. But yeah, so it's really hard. And the idea of trying to make as much established comic as possible. And so I've always been trying to, you know, open new opportunities. It's also by going here to New York.
So you're Lenny Bruce of Indonesia?
No, I'm
Vaudeville? Are you vaudeville of Indonesia?
I'm Kevin Hart, man.
Kevin Hart.
I'm the Indonesian Kevin Hart.
He's the Chitlin circuit of.
Chitlin circuit. Yeah, because it's. I love stand-up comedy so much. My dream is wherever I go, every city in Indonesia, I get to see comedy. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've been trying to do back in Indonesia. And I'm trying to bring New York comics to Indonesia, and bring Indonesian comic to New York. But it's a process. I'm new here, so this is one of the platforms that would help me achieve what I'm trying to do. Apart from me doing stand-up here in New York, I really want to, bridge the New York comedy scene to Indonesia. Do you know that I'm bringing Josh and Kevin and Rashad to Jakarta? Do you know this? Have you heard?
I saw a poster. Rashad Bashir in Indonesia. Holy moly. Rashad is so amazing. Not to say Josh is also amazing, so is Kevin. Rashad, I met him I met him during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
He was it was hard to find comedy to do anywhere. And he would bring out a speaker and a microphone to this park in Harlem.
Wow.
And the first time I went there, I saw him, and it was just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else showed up. I'm like, fuck it, man. I guess you're gonna have to show me your hour or whatever you got. Eventually, other people fell in, but yeah, that's when I connected with him, man. He's amazing. He's amazing talent, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will American, because all of these guys, will American comedy translate over there?
Definitely.
It will?
Yeah, especially. It's
I'm gonna love it. He's gonna be like fucking.
I know.
They're gonna love him out there.
I know. Because Kevin's episode is up, Rashad's episode is up, and people back in Indonesia already know that both of these guys and Josh are going to Indonesia, and they're loving it. You should see the comments. They're loving Kevin. They're loving Rashad because they are funny.
Holy moly!
Yeah. And Kevin's cutting his own clips. Have you noticed, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, and it's very funny.
Kevin's doing well. Hopefully he doesn't hear this, but I'm proud of him.
What do you mean? Hopefully he doesn't.
Okay, he wouldn't be like, proud of me. What you mean you proud of me? I said, don't be proud of me. Be
scared of me.
What do you mean? Why? Yeah, obviously we know because he's moving well in his career.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Him, DC. DC is my boy. I got mad love for DC.
Yeah, DC was supposed to be doing this episode as well tomorrow.
Okay,
but it's Thanksgiving. I forgot. So he couldn't. And so we rescheduled. Maybe Tuesday.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Coney Island.
Coney Island.
My daughter's birthday was this Monday, so I want to bring her to a place. I've never. There's an amusement park, right, in Coney Island?
Yeah, but it's not open in the wintertime.
It's not?
No.
Thank you for telling me that. I'm almost.
What the hell?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a summertime attraction. Is it open in the winter?
There's still stuff to do out there. I just don't know. I don't know if the.
Wow, I have no idea.
Don't go to Coney Island.
I'm such a bad father, man.
How the hell are you gonna get there?
By train?
Yeah, you know how long that's gonna take you from where you're at?
The F train, right?
Yeah, the F train. That's about a 3 hour. That's about a 3 hour ride. Yeah.
Man, I really had to do some research. Fucking stupid dad.
I live in Queens. It takes me 2 hours to get to work, and I work in Queens. Sir,
it is open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, though. It's just not Thanksgiving. Like the park, the Luna Park with all the stuff in it, and it's like a Christmas thing going on.
Oh.
But it's
so maybe Sunday.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could do it.
Yeah. So Thanksgiving is only Thursday?
Just Thursday, yeah.
Oh.
And then there's
it's one meal on Thursday. It's not even the whole day.
Then there's Black Friday, where the sales are going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's still a thing? Black Friday? It's always a thing. I'm very sorry. I mean, everybody watching this from the United States, I have no cultural reference.
It's a marketing.
Yeah.
It's a marketing gimmick.
But it's been for years, right?
It's been for years. Yeah. It can get pretty chaotic out there too.
Yeah.
So people have been trampled.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
It's wild. People have been you know how I don't know if anybody understand the reference, but when you move to a city or to a country that everybody else wishes to go to, they started to kind of put their dreams on you. If that makes sense. Like when people know I'm here in New York, everybody. Do you know that Black Friday is coming? Do you know that Black Friday is coming? Because they can't. They've heard, but they don't have access to. You should, you should buy stuff on Black Friday. I was like, okay, I don't know.
What, buy stuff for them or buy stuff for yourself?
For myself. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're 100% right. You should.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's a lot of people back in Indonesia who've been saying this.
It's a nice jacket. How much that jacket cost? Let's just say it costs $3.99. Black Friday, you get that for $1.99.
Whoa.
Buddy, I've been shopping for the last 3 days. I wait all year to get my jeans because they're my jeans
This
are
is all store?
basically every store. And now you can do it online. You used to have to go line up and fist fight an old lady to get a TV, but now you can do it all online.
What do you mean? I thought it's only
then
Friday.
It's Cyber Monday.
Oh yeah, people would have their Thanksgiving dinner in line at an electronics store or at Target. I swear to God, They would take shifts. They'd go home, eat turkey, go back, switch, go take a dump, come back. Like people are nuts just so they get an iPod for $40 off. It's mental. Look up, watch videos of Black Friday's past. People died.
Yeah, people
get trampled running into a Walmart.
Imagine
so they can get an air fryer.
Sneakers go crazy too, right?
Yeah,
everything.
Everything.
I wear $100 jeans. I buy like 1 or 2 pair a year or every 2 years, just because I have a weird body shape, and so it's like the only ones that fit me, man. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy.
Wow.
But every Black Friday, I bought a pair yesterday for $60.
Hell yeah.
So I don't buy them for $100. I buy them for $60 because they go on sale.
Hell yeah.
And then Cyber Monday?
Cyber Monday, that's new. And it's probably something, because Black Friday, and then probably a saving Saturday and a super saving Sunday.
Small Business Saturday.
Small Business Saturday.
So Small Business Saturday,
What's that
it's
one?
Black Friday, but for mom and pop shops. So they're like, don't go to Amazon, don't go to Walmart, go to your local whatever, and spend money
I like
there.
that.
That's a good one. That's the only one that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And Black Friday is just, it means that's typically when a store, their money goes into the black. They're normally running at a loss until Black Friday because that's when everyone goes Christmas shopping for the first time, or the big first day of shopping, and that's when they start to actually make a profit. So their accounting is now in the black rather than the red. So that's what it's called. That's why the reference to Black Friday.
Yep. It's all about that money.
Well, that's wild.
I don't know why they don't call it Green Friday.
Do you know? Do you know what people are saying about the United States though in Indonesia?
I bet it's all positive.
We're the best.
No,
That's what they should be
we're
saying.
the best music.
America, they're the best.
No, they so
They have
there's
no problems in America. Let's keep guessing what they say.
They look great.
Everyone's treated equally. America, respect.
So there's this very famous podcast in Indonesia. Two men and one woman talk about social issues, politics.
They
and
got
whatever.
videos like that here, but it's not a podcast. Sorry.
And they were talking about the American government going bankrupt. And they were saying that there are few police officers on the streets, that basically the country is going bankrupt. And people are DMing me, Pandji, are you okay? I heard that the United States are going bankrupt. There's no government and whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it. Everything in New York seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
But is it because I don't really see, because I'm with this touristy eyes, or are things bad here? I don't know.
There's trillions of dollars of debt, from what I hear.
The government.
Yeah. But I don't think I don't know how to any of that shit. Right? I'm not an economist. But
All we know is prices are
we're
going
not
up.
paying nobody. Listen, whoever the fuck America owes, we're not paying nobody shit. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, let's just pretend to forget.
They have to. They have no other choice.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, I hate America, but I love America too. And we don't have time to be. We owe so much money.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like a political.
We're not going to talk about.
That's like political shit.
Okay, closing up, because it's been. I think it's almost an hour now.
Yeah, we're right there.
Where are you at in comedy right now, and where are you going? Do you get pass on clubs?
No,
right now?
I'm not past.
That's what you're aiming for?
Right now, you know what I'm aiming for? I'm aiming to fucking like content wise. I wanna gain gain a following. You know.
Yeah. We were talking about this outside QED.
Yeah, I want to gain like a following. Whether it be through, because I love stand-up. Stand-up comedy is the thing, but I just would like to
more people to know you, so more people would show up.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to do that through other means like sketches, podcast, you know, and probably writing some of the best jokes ever written. That's what that's my goal. Dude, I would love to be one of the greatest comedians ever. That's my goal. That's where I want to go.
Well,
no matter how long it takes or how hard it is, but I think the key is just not to stop.
Yeah, and like we should hang out with Mike more often because, as he said, the rising tides. Was it again?
Rising tides raise all ships.
There you go.
Rising tides raise all ships.
Yeah. So what's your social media handle? Tell people.
J_LON 3000 on Instagram. JTURNER 3000 on YouTube. I have a lot of funny stuff on there, and if I don't see y'all down here, I'll see y'all up there.
Yeah. Do you have anything to plug? Do you have any?
The heckle mic when we come back.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully so. I should have Sarah here.
You should have Sarah here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Jerlon.
Always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. My pleasure. Also, thank you, Big Mike, my producer, who, this is very well produced. People are loving the first 2 episodes, Mike, so thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you so much. Also, I do run an open mic. It's every Thursday. It's a comedy gym. It's at the Producers Club. It's a show up, go up kind of thing. $5, 5 minutes, the usual. Thank you very much, and I'll be seeing you guys next episode next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.